Welcome, everyone. This is our special edition Oil Talks happening through this pandemic that we're all experiencing as a global community. My name is Erin Fugate. I'm one of the founding members of Visionary Leaders, and we are thrilled that you're here with us. Thank you for taking the time to connect in community and to learn more about how to use these amazing essential oils to not only support your health, but your emotional well-being. We have a beautiful lineup for today, some inspirational speakers, and you're going to leave the call with new wisdom in your heart. We do want you to know that on our website, hellovisionary.life, if you go to the tab Oil Talks, you can get the notes. Every call we have, we put up notes. Any products we recommend, any protocols we might recommend, any webinars we reference, it's all there. So that's a great place for you to go after the call for reference, but it's also a place that you can send a friend if they couldn't make the live call. These calls are not recorded. Well, they are recorded, but they're not shared because we get a little wild on here. As many of you know, we work very hard to be compliant with the FDA and have appropriate language. Like, we can't cure or treat any diseases, and everything we're talking about is for educational purposes only. But you know, essential oil educators get a little excited sometimes. And we're kind of science nerds, and the science is incredible and inspiring. And sometimes we let something slip, like antiviral, antimicrobial, antibacterial, which we're not supposed to say at all. So what happens on Zoom stays on Zoom, okay, everybody? But that said, that's why we're not sharing the recordings, because we're live and unplugged. So if you have someone who wanted to get on the live call and they couldn't, send them to the website. They'll get all the recipes, all the protocols, and they will feel like they are here. And then encourage them to do what they can to get on the live call. So many of us are staying at home so that we can save lives. Some of you might be on the front lines. Maybe you're working in grocery stores. Maybe you are a healthcare provider. We honor you. We thank you. But we're all doing our part to try to reduce the spread and to protect our fellow human. These calls are also our part for that. We're here to educate you on how to use the oils in the most effective way, and of course a safe way, so that you can see results. Oh, Maureen is asking for the website. Thank you. It's on essentialwellness.life and hellovisionary.life, either one that you'd like to go and find. So our agenda for today is we're first going to start with a grounding exercise from Dana Schwartz. Then Heidi and myself will be talking to you about safety with kids and how to use essential oils with kids for respiratory support. Plus, Heidi's going to give you a DIY demonstration so that you know how to make your own hand mist, your own cleansing mist. If you run out of the doTERRA hand sanitizer, you can make your own. Then Tiffin is going to come on and talk to us about our pets. Who has pets? And you're more at home with them. And there's two things that happen with that. The pets are absorbing your anxiety and your stress, but also we're using oils around them. So I want to make sure we're doing that safe. We'll have time for Q&A, and of course, our traditional essential oil bloopers, because we all need to laugh during this time. And then we will close up for the week. So without further ado, I would love to give Dana Schwartz the floor so she can help us ground and center before we learn.
Thanks, Erin. Thanks, everybody. So go ahead and grab whatever oil you have around you. I'm using Copaiba. Maybe you have that, or Balance, or frankincense, but really whatever oil you have. Erin's using Forgive. And place a few drops in your hand. Rub your hands together, and I'm going to have you first actually place over your lung points. So I'm an acupuncturist as well, and this is the exterior part where our lung meridian starts, right under the clavicle, lung 1 and 2. So rub that in there, and then take your hands and just do a couple, meaning 3 deep breaths. And you can breathe in and out your nose or mouth, okay? Uncross your legs, put both feet on the ground. Feel the earth beneath you, no matter what story of a building you're on. Create that connection. And although I'm here to ground us, I'm actually going to have us move because we are all at home. We're in front of our screens, probably even more than we've ever been before. And I want to open up our hearts, our minds. So I'm going to have you start rotating your wrists. Pardon me if mine are cracking. You hear it. So rotate your wrists one direction and then the other direction. Okay, and then I'm going to have you do your shoulders. Roll your shoulders back. If you need to stand up, go for it. Stand up. And then roll your shoulders forward. And then your neck, okay? So you're going to only forward. You're going to go from side to side. Because you know, I just told you that our lung points start right here in our chest. And this is where we can get tight emotionally too, right? So we need to stretch. And what I'm going to have you do now, just like Erin naturally wants to do, raise your arms all the way up, reach for that sky, and then bring your arms down, creating a protective bubble around you. And you're going to bring your arms up again. 3 times like this, reaching out. And then reach up again and out. And then we're going to do a cleaning and a clearing. So bring your arms, and the lung channel actually is on the inside. Okay, so you're going to sweep, sweep, sweep. Doesn't that feel good? Sweep, sweep, sweep. Then on the top, sweep. Sweep those arms, sweep that body, go down your legs, all the way to the ground. Release, let go. And put your hands on your thighs. Close your eyes for 1 moment. And just breathe in your nose. 3 nice deep breaths in your nose and out your mouth. And 1 more. And when you're ready, come back to us and we can begin our education. It's just a little more oxygen and a little more life force in our body. Go ahead, Erin, take it away. Thank you.
Thank you, Dana. That felt so good. I feel like I want to incorporate that into my routine every time I'm sitting in front of the computer. I love it.
I know I've been starting my meetings with a little movement because for my own self, and then it just helps both of us. Absolutely. Thank you.
So good. All right, is everybody ready to dive into some education? I just want you to put a little thumbs up on your screen or give us 1 word of emotion that you're feeling right now. We are going to jump into learning about essential oils with our kids. Heidi, are you here with me? I just want to make sure I know where you are.
I'm here.
Here you are. Whoops. Someone shared their screen accidentally. I share you there.
I am. I'm not sure how to, hold on.
Oh, I think I can do it. I did it.
Great.
Okay. Yay. So Heidi and I are moms. Definitely. Heidi has 2 cute boys. They're twins, right, Heidi?
Twin boys.
Twin boys. I've got a 2.5-year-old and a bun in the oven right now, giving birth in June. And Heidi and I really wanted to come on and share with you some safety tips with kids so that you can feel really confident using the oils with your kids. And then Heidi has some pretty incredible testimonies about earaches, ear infections, and chronic cough respiratory stuff. Of course, if you have questions, put them in the chat because we have a whole collection of essential oil educators here and they will chat through and make sure that your questions get answered. So Heidi, I'm gonna go ahead and do safety and some of my little pointers first, and then we will hear from you with your testimonies. So who here right now is already using kid oils on their kids? Raise your hand. Okay, who wants to use oils on your kids, but you're a little concerned about safety and you want to make sure you do it right? Okay, some of you who has friends that have kids and you'd love to share oils with them, but you want to make sure they're doing it right. Okay, wonderful. So the first thing to understand about essential oil safety in children is you've already made the best decision you could possibly make, which is you're using doTERRA. And this may be old news to some people, but if there's anyone on here that hasn't fully done their research and found out why doTERRA is so special, most essential oils sold in the marketplace are adulterated, so they're not pure. And what they adulterate them with are reconstituted chemicals. One of the favorite items that essential oils are adulterated with is the same thing they put in brake fluid. So that is yucky. We don't want that on our body or in our body, and we definitely don't want that on our kids. So that's the first thing, is anything we say right now about children, this is only with doTERRA essential oils, and that's your first kind of hump to get over, maybe with a friend or a family member to help them understand. First, because doTERRA is pure, but second, doTERRA oils are balanced in their chemical profile. So an essential oil can be pure but not balanced, and that might even give it some harmful side effects. You don't have to worry about that with doTERRA. The other thing to know about kids and essential oils is you're going to want to dilute, because their skin is sensitive, their bodies are smaller than us, and there are great dilution charts out there that are very easy to follow. Or if you don't want to worry about the whole dilution thing, you can buy the doTERRA Kids Collection, which is pre-diluted perfectly for infants, kids, and anyone with sensitive skin issues. The third thing you want to know about safety with essential oils in kids is you got to keep the oils out of their reach. Kids are naturally curious, and this happens with my 2-year-old. If she can reach those oils, she's going to grab those oils. And the kids' touch line is really safe. Like, I actually put those where she can reach them, because I feel totally comfortable with her playing with her touch oils. She puts them on her dolls, she puts them on her dogs, she puts them on me. That's fine. But I want oregano out of her reach, because if she got the oregano by accident, she might have an experience that's uncomfortable. Yesterday, she got the On Guard hand sanitizer by accident, and she thought it was like mom's facial toner, and she sprayed it directly in her eyes. Okay, no fun. It was not good. But I also want to tell you that we rubbed some coconut oil on her eyes, and within about 30 minutes, everything was fine. So that's your fourth safety tip with essential oils in kids, is if there ever is any kind of boo-boo, if they get oregano in their eyes, if they drink a bottle of Deep Blue. Yes, I had a customer text me and said, my kid drank a bottle of Deep Blue, what do I do? You're always going to want to cut it with some kind of oil. So when it gets in their eyes, I just rub fractionated coconut oil on the area. If it gets somewhere else that it hurts, if they drink some essential oil that's scary, go ahead and call poison control. I can guarantee you poison control is going to say it'll be okay, don't worry. But the thing you really want to do is make them drink a big glass of milk, because essential oils are cut by fat. And so if there's any kind of discomfort, the fat will cut it. Other than that, you're safe. You're safe to use these oils. They work. They're much safer than giving your child like NyQuil or Theraflu or Sudafed or whatever might be the alternative, right? These oils are so, so safe. Alternative to cow's milk, almond milk, macadamia milk, a big hunk of butter, a big thing of yogurt, coconut yogurt, like anything that's fat, some kind of fat, some kind of oil. My daughter will swallow a teaspoon of sesame oil. She's the most amazing thing. So if you could get some sesame oil or olive oil down their throat, that would be fine too. But these oils are really safe. You can use them with your kids with confidence and know that they're going to be so much more effective, safer, and cheaper than their modern counterparts. So that said, is everybody feeling a little more comfortable with the safety aspect? If there's any specific questions about safety, please put it in the chat. We definitely want to answer them. I think Heidi's going to speak to one of the most common. I don't know if, do you have the boob one on there, Heidi? The lavender and boobs, because I'm going to talk to it if you don't.
Oh no, go for it. Do you do
Okay.
that one?
So there are some common Google fire alarms. I say Google fire alarms because if you spend time on Google and you search long enough, you're going to find somebody saying something scary. And one of them is lavender makes boobs in boys. Have you ever heard that one? If your boys use lavender, they're going to get boobs. Okay, this is 100% not true, but it is true if it's a fake lavender. So they're talking about lavender scented soap, lavender scented body lotion. That's all reconstituted in a laboratory, and it is a hormone disruptor. And we do not want to use that on our body, our daughter's body, our son's body, anyone's body. But pure lavender essential oil like doTERRA has will not do anything like that at all. You're completely safe. And I know Heidi's going to talk about one of the other ones that's commonly come up. But if you have another urban myth that you've heard about essential oils and safety, put it in the chat because we want to address it right now. So these are some of my favorite tips. We're talking about kids and respiratory support. These are some of my favorite tips if your little one gets a stuffy nose, a cough, a rattly chest, can't breathe, anything like that. Number one, my favorite diffuser blend to put in their room at night is Serenity and Breathe together. Has anybody else done that combo? It's so yummy. It helps you sleep because the Serenity's there, and then the Breathe will open their airways and they'll be able to sleep a lot better. The other thing I like to do is Breathe Touch or the Breathe Vapor Stick on their chest, those lung points that Dana talked about. Rub that right in there for the kiddos. Also, the top of your feet at the base of the toes, that's bronchial tubes. That's another great place to rub, breathe into. The bottom of the feet, kind of right in the middle, are the lungs in reflexology. And you could look up a reflexology chart if you want help with that. You can rub it right in there. I'll tell you that my daughter, the moment she was born, we had a home birth. She came out, they laid her on my chest, and the midwife said, oh, she kind of sounds like she has a little gunk in her throat. You know, let's help her breathe a bit. And they pulled out Breathe Touch. And we rubbed Breathe Touch when she was 2 seconds old on her chest. And it helped her to open up her airways and breathe. The other thing that I do when they're really stuffed up and there's just like snot coming out of their nose and they can't breathe is I put them in the shower, hot shower, and then I put Breathe down in the bottom of the shower. I just dump it on the bottom of the shower and those vapors come up as a steam and they'll come out of the shower a bit clearer. Another important tool for respiratory health is going to be probiotics, and doTERRA has a kid's probiotic. PB Assist Junior, it tastes like a pixie stick and it looks like a pixie stick. So give your kids one of those every day. We also have the vitamins, the Kids A to Z and the IQ Mega. You can give your kids those every day. My daughter started taking IQ Mega at 18 months and started taking her A to Z probably about 1.5. And now she asks for them. She doesn't let me get away with not giving them to her. My last trick that I'm gonna tell you for kids, actually I have 2 more, for kids and immune support and respiratory health is Rose and Copaiba. These are 2 powerful immune oils. They're sensitive on the skin. You can use them neat. You don't even have to dilute. And they're great for immune support. So I will rub that up her spine. I will rub that on her chest, on the bottom of her feet. But anytime I feel like there's extra threats or somebody came down with something, I'll use those 2 oils on her. Then if she is having a hard time getting over something, I learned this trick from Boyd Truman, who created Symphony of the Cells. I will take a bottle of lemon oil. This isn't lemon, but I'm going to show you for example. And I'll swipe the outside of the lemon oil. So I just get a little tiny lemon on my finger, like half a drop. And then I put that in her mouth, on her cheek. And the reason I do that is lemon essential oil helps your body produce more glutathione. And glutathione is the natural antioxidant that we need to be healthy and young and vibrant. And sometimes when we have a sickness or a crud that we can't get over, our body just needs a little extra boost of that glutathione. And lemon is a wonderful way to give it to the kiddos. Last thing, who does Symphony of the Cells on themselves or their partner? You can do it on your kids. You can absolutely do it on your kids. You just dilute the essential oils, and sometimes they're running around and you can't get them to sit still. So I might like just catch a back really quick, right? They're running by. I'm like, well, let me get some frankincense on you. Whatever oils you can get from that respiratory protocol or the ID protocol, you can totally do it for the kiddos. I did Emma's first one when she was 18 months old because she came down with something that I thought was maybe measles. And we did it on her, diluted the oils, and she got better a couple days later. It was great. So those are my tips, Heidi. I'm going to turn it over to you.
Such good tips. I've done so many of those. So I feel like, oh, so supported. My twins were 3 years old when I got oils. And so for me, that was a little bit of it was life-changing. I had always tried to be more natural, but you know, when there was a time in need, we went into the doctor. And so I'm so excited to share with you a couple things that have changed our life, particularly with my twins. Both of my twins, they're not identical. So one of them just holds coughs, stuffy nose. Like our whole family, if we would get sick, it would be like we'd go through it in a week, and this kid would hang on to his coughs for 3 weeks. Like it just would last forever. And before he was 3, before I had doTERRA essential oils specifically, he had 8 double ear infections, as opposed to his brother who had 1 double ear infection. So that little boy was given antibiotics because that's all they thought they could do for him. And they were talking about doing tubes in his ears. And I got essential oils, doTERRA essential oils, which is a game changer difference. I've also heard about the estrogen producing in tea tree, which absolutely, if it's not doTERRA, it will. Tea tree is one of the most adulterated oils. So I got doTERRA tea tree, which is pure and balanced. And I heard a little trick, which is to take your Melaleuca tea tree oil and to take a cotton ball. And for little guys, little babies, and little people, you need a smaller one. And typically we talk about using this, right? If you're going to use Melaleuca, you're going to use it topically and rub it in. But what you need to do with the Melaleuca tea tree to make it effective to help dry out the ear for ear infections is the vapor, is the essential oil, the little volatile pieces that are coming off the compounds. And so what you want to do to make it more of a vapor is you're going to put 1 drop on a cotton ball, the part of the wet spot you don't want touching the ear because Melaleuca is very drying, and you just set it in their ear right like that. And I typically would do it in the evening so that he could, sleep with it in there and it wouldn't bug him, because during the day he didn't like it. And that was one way we did Melaleuca tea tree. We also used a heck of a lot of Breathe, I gotta tell you that. But sometimes he wouldn't want that cotton ball in his ear. This works for adults too, by the way. This is amazing. So I would take fractionated coconut oil and I would literally put it right on the back of his ear bone, this mastoid one back here. I do it in front of his lobe and then right here again. I'd take a drop of Melaleuca and I would tap it. And why you tap it is because you want the volatile compounds to help pull it out. It's not so much a rub-in, it's a tap. So you have those volatile compounds. So I gotta tell you, he was doing so great. He did get sick about 6 months after I had oils, and I took him to the doctor because finally he was tugging at his ear and he's like, my ears. We went to the doctor and they looked in his ears and they said, okay, he has what's going around. What are you doing? And I told them, I'm just using this tea tree oil. And he's like, it's working. His ears are completely dry. He just is a little bit irritated from the cold, but his ears are completely fine. And he has not had an ear infection since. That's night and day. right? So just I had to share that because that's a game changer for me. Also, this little boy is ear, nose, and throat stuff, right? We use Melaleuca at any sign he has irritant. We put that in his ears. We do the cotton ball. The other thing I want to share is that we use Breathe, and Breathe worked so well for so long. Diluted it on his little 3-year-old back, on his 3-year-old lungs, on his feet. And one time when he was coughing, he was not able to stop. Breathe was not enough. And have you ever heard that when in doubt, use frankincense? Well, that's what I was thinking. Oh, I don't know what the heck to use next. So I grabbed my frankincense oil and I put it on his throat, just topically. And I put a little bit of coconut oil with it. I actually put the coconut oil on top, which acts as a driver. It still dilutes it, but it'll get it in quicker. And he stopped coughing. I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And I put a drop in his water. And at 3 years old, he drank some frankincense water when he would start to cough, and it literally would calm it within a minute. So it wasn't much oil, but these are the things that were game changers to him. The Breathe, the Melaleuca, and then that extra frankincense for the cough. And we still will use that, those little tricks. It's those things that you find out. But those are probably my main, I would say, for respiratory. We also do, if I need to, we'll take him and we'll do the steam shower like Erin was talking about, oils all over the shower. Sometimes I'll put some extra boost like a rosemary oil in there. That's very respiratory. We steam it up. We steam up the bathroom. If he doesn't want to be in the shower, it's okay. We steam it up. Now he's 10 years old and I will still do this because he still gets coughs. We'll, steam him in there. He's in there for at least 10 minutes. Everything's closed up and I pound his back. So it's the percussion on his back to help them cough it out. They say till kids are about 8 to 10 years old that they cannot cough out all the gook out of their lungs and their throats that they can, or like adults can, or bigger kids. My sons are now 10 and the one does much better, but he still, he needs a little bit extra help. So you'll just kind of cup your hand like this and you go around the spine as they're coughing and go up and down the opposite side of their lungs. So those are my top tricks, and I can tell you I'm like the respiratory mama queen now, and it works on adults too.
Awesome, Heidi. Now, you and I chatted a little bit about that myth out there with essential oils, kids, and concern about using eucalyptus or peppermint. Has anybody heard that one? Maybe we shouldn't use eucalyptus or peppermint on kids. Yes, some have. Do you want to speak to that myth, Heidi, and help us dispel it?
Well, it's interesting because we have these beautiful kids touch oils now that have alternative oils for them, for respiratory support, for all of those things. But when my kids were younger, we didn't have those. We only had the oils we had. And so for some of them in the respiratory issues that they are concerned about, those are also unpure oils that are unbalanced. And that they have been said, and I think I saw someone in the comments, are the kids too young as babies to put it on them because their lungs aren't developed enough? The eucalyptus, I think, is it poisoning they were talking about? There's so many different little myths. So with doTERRA oils, I use them. They are safe. Erin, what do you want to add?
Well, I'd love, actually, Vivian Ingleson, are you there? Are you willing to say live what you just said in the chat? Because she explains it so well.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, maybe I can do this too, so you can see me. The part of it that is not a myth, there's an actual thing that happens. It's part of the lung development in developing mammals, and what the actual physiologics behind it are. When the lungs develop in a very young mammal, which we're mammals, but whether it's an animal with hair or a human, the lungs aren't able to distinguish between cold air and the coldness that is detected from a menthol in an essential oil. So what the natural response then is to protect that being is for the lungs to constrict. So that's where that whole thing came from. So what's really great to know is that, you know, the scientists at doTERRA obviously knew about that. So they developed a children's product that was diluted enough that would not create that reaction. So that's what that is from. It's not that it isn't a thing, it is a thing. But when you apply the oils correctly, then it doesn't do that.
Thank you, Vivian. So if you're not aware, doTERRA has a touch line. They have the kids line, which are touch oils, and these are diluted specifically for children. But they also have a touch line of some of our top 10 oils, including Breathe and the Breathe Stick. So what Vivian is talking about is there's a big difference between taking a drop of Breathe or a drop of eucalyptus or a drop of peppermint and neat rubbing that on a newborn's chest. We wouldn't do that. When my baby was born, she got Breathe Touch. So pre-diluted Breathe. We also would never want to just put a whole bunch of peppermint in a diffuser and breathe just that. It wouldn't be very enjoyable. But the Breathe oil in a diffuser, it has other oils in it. It's not just the menthol, so it's well balanced. That's another thing about doTERRA blends. They've balanced them very well. The reason why someone might say, don't use oregano in pregnancy, but pregnant women all over the world use On Guard, because the blend has a very small amount of the oil and it's blended very perfectly. So thank you for sharing that with us, Vivian. It helps so much. So Heidi and I will post our protocols and some of these links and references to articles up on the website so that you have all of that with your children. But the biggest takeaways that I'd like to remind you is dilute your oils with your kids. Keep them out of your children's reach so that they're not using the oils unattended. Have some kind of carrier oil ready for dilution if there's an oopsie, like somebody gets oils in their eye. And when in doubt, use the touch oils because you know that they will be very, very safe for the kiddos. So Heidi, are you ready for our DIY extravaganza? So who actually got some hand sanitizer from doTERRA? Some of us, right? And then some of us didn't. Boo-hoo. Heidi's gonna teach us how to make our own. So take it away, Heidi.
Okay, so I'm super excited because obviously this is another one I made kind of early on to help with my kids being able to have some hand sanitizer that wasn't toxic to them. That actually works. So I have a couple things I wanted to disclaimer first. The first one I want to share with you all is that the most effective way to get rid of germs and to sanitize your hands is to wash them. Wash them with soap. It is more preferred to wash your hands than to put on some hand sanitizer. Secondly, what I would say is that hand sanitizer, while it's really convenient on the go, the purpose of it is to coat your hands, right? And to put the product on your hands so that your hands are cleaned. But remember, whatever we put on our hands as well absorbs directly into your skin and into your body. So it's just another thing of choosing the right products. This doTERRA Sanitizing Mist, I think we are back to being able to get one per an account, which is wonderful, but usually is not enough. Why I use hand sanitizer really is to put oils on our hands after we wash them, or as much as possible, and those small amounts in our skin as much as you can. So the next thing I want to talk about is that there's been a lot of chatter about stores running out of rubbing alcohol and that sort of thing. And it's because people want to make their own hand sanitizers and sanitize everything. And there are many other things that are able to sanitize, including essential oils have amazing properties. Amazing like they work. Like that is what you want in your home. and what they can do inside your body, they can do on the surface of your body as well. So I'd like to share that with you, that I'm going to share 2 recipes with you. One would be CDC approved. The Center for Disease Control of the United States has approved alcohol with a percent of 60% or more or in your hand sanitizers to make it claimed as sanitizing. So I want you to use what you feel comfortable with. If you want to use what CDC guidelines are, my first recipe for you is they want at least 60% of it to be alcohol. And they want a high proof alcohol as well. So the high proof alcohol meaning you might have seen online in Everclear, because it has a high proof of alcohol of 180. I think in California we can only get 151. But that has to do with dilution amounts and what we're putting it on. Alcohol does flash off your body, so it does evaporate very quickly, but also you will be digesting it through your hands. I got a recipe off doTERRA's blog with alcohol in it. They recommended, or they just put down rubbing alcohol. There's 2 kinds of alcohol. Isopropyl alcohol is rubbing alcohol, and it's definitely not good for your liver if you use a lot of it. So washing hands, again, first and foremost. Next, you have ethyl alcohol, which is grain alcohol, food grade. That's where the Everclear, the vodkas come in. And that's what I would recommend using in the doTERRA recipe. So the doTERRA recipe is 5 tablespoons of an aloe vera gel. Aloe vera gel also can be scary and full of weird stuff. So I usually use this edible lily of the valley juice. It's aloe vera juice, and I'll just put a tiny bit, and that's for softening usually, especially if you're using alcohol. You want to soften your hands. Next, they have 4 tablespoons of water. A 1/4 teaspoon of vitamin E is optional. 8 to 10 drops of On Guard oil. And I would also recommend you can switch that out with your DDR Prime oil. And then 2/3 of a cup of rubbing alcohol is what they said. Of course, I would try to use a higher grain alcohol if you can. And so that is their recipe. What I love about essential oils is they're bioactive. That means they work within your cells of your body. And there's science shown, lots of science. Go online and look at pubmed.org or .gov. There's National Institute of Health.gov. There is studies that show how effective essential oils are even outside of the body. Okay. So your essential oils, not only if you use the CDC recommended alcohol, use your antiviral oils that you've researched. Use your oils that you have confidence in, and make the recipe and use the products that you have confidence in that are backed. That's what I really want to say. The next thing is that even though they work within your body, they can work on surfaces as well, just the same. My recipe, I'm going to show you real quick. I usually use a 2-ounce container because it's quick, or it fits in your purse really nicely. Lately, I've been upping it to 4 ounces because we've been using a little bit more. I do On Guard. I will do, First I'm going to do a little pinch of Epsom salt. And why I want the Epsom salt in there, just a couple little pinches in there, is it helps it solubilize within the water. The essential oil and the water together will help it solubilize in together. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but more soluble in together, they mix up. Then I do my On Guard essential oil. I'm going to do 6 drops of On Guard. And then one of my favorites to add to this right now is thyme oil. If you don't have thyme, it's time to go buy some. I put about 2 to 3 in there. And then I just top it off with filtered water. They usually say distilled, so there's no other garbage in there. I use my RO system water and top it off. Occasionally, I will put a tiny bit of alcohol, and literally it's vodka. Tito's, by the way, says don't use Tito's because it's not the strong amount, but I will use a teaspoon of vodka. And why I personally will use that is that it helps the oil stay on the hands a little bit longer. I want the oil on my hands personally. That's what I use. The oils work. You can use with this, if you wanted to make your little sanitizer a little softening, you can also do a tiny bit of aloe vera juice again, but I shake it up and I use it, and that's what we use. We wash our hands first. We put that when we need it. I put it all over my shopping cart if I go to shopping. I put it all over my steering wheel, wherever you need it. It'll help kill. I have one more quick thing. Please go do your research. You guys are gonna freak out. Like if you start doing some of your own research and look up, I have a really cool book. One of the appendices in the back tells you all the properties, and it'll tell you which oils, how strong they are in the properties, the anti-properties that I want. The last thing I want to share with you is that a medical research doctor team did a study with On Guard a couple years ago. And what they did is they did 3 drops in 32 ounces. Okay, this is 4 ounces and I just put 10. They did 3 drops in 32 ounces of water only. They put bacteria and a bunch of funky stuff, they put all of that over a countertop. And then they took their little 3 drops of On Guard and 32 ounces of water, and they sprayed the countertop. And then they let it sit. And each day they would swab it and test the microbes for that. And they did this with Lysol, I believe, and bleach, and then they had a control group. And out of all of that, they did it for 7 days. On Guard was the one that showed to continue to keep killing things off the surface and keep it clear on their Petri dish. It is amazing. So that was something we got to hear at convention, that they're, about the organisms not being recovered. A little side note is just think about putting that sanitizer on your hands and leaving it on there. Putting a drop of oil on your hands, rubbing it in, and leaving it on there. It'll continue to kill things, right? And have the properties you want. So those are my tips. I'm so thankful for our oils. The more you use and love and research, you will trust them. And I'm so excited to have stuff that actually works, because I can tell you, my Whole Foods oils didn't used to, I would not trust them for cleaning before this. So
Heidi, can you repeat your personal recipe? We want it put in the chat.
Yeah, my personal recipe is 8 to 10 drops of essential oil. And I have that in a 2-ounce container, but I think 4 ounces, either one, 2 or 4 ounces. And essential oil can be 6 On Guard and 2 to 3 thyme. Those are my favorites. I also love just straight DDR Prime by itself in there. And then you're going to do it with a pinch of Epsom salt to help it dilute through the water. And then you top it off with filtered water. It's super simple. I have even in the past used my filtered water and On Guard in my purse, and we made it up. And this is something I would spray in my children's mouth, right? Oh, we have a sore throat, and I'm gonna put it on my hands. So those are my favorites. Yeah, that's it. You can add a tiny bit of alcohol if you want. You can add a tiny bit of aloe vera, but that's my personal one. But both of those are great and they work.
And help me make sure I'm have the same understanding that you do. This study that we all saw about On Guard on the surface, it's something that was presented at the doTERRA convention a few years back by Nicole Stevens, I believe. It has not been published yet, so we don't have anywhere on the internet where we can send you the published study. Right, Heidi? Or have you found it somewhere?
Yeah, no, that exact study, they're not putting it out, but they have yet, because they're doing it on a large scale. So that they showed us in 2017 at convention, which is another amazing reason to go to convention, because they get down and dirty with science. Like, they give us all the hottest stuff out. They are doing it on a much bigger level to be able to put it out there. But I mean, 3 drops of On Guard and 32 ounces of water. Wow.
Wow, right? Yeah, I just spray my door handles, my countertops. That's one key, is you spray down the countertop and then you let it dry. You don't wipe it off. So I'll wipe down my counters, clean my counters. That's why Heidi's saying she washes her hands to get all the stuff off. I'll wash and clean my counters. Then I spray my oil mixture on the counters or on my hands or on the doorknobs or on the toys, and I let it dry. And it's the oil stain on the surface that is effective at killing stuff and stopping other things from growing. So in my house, we are having a routine during this time where like 3 times a day, clean the counters, spray it, clean the doorknobs, spray it, and leave it. You can do this in your car. You can do it with your cell phone. You can do it with your grocery bags, all of that stuff. So we're going to move on to pets and essential oils, and we will have time for a little Q&A, so keep your questions going. I'm definitely seeing some good questions. And of course, we're going to put all our notes on the website, all our references, all our links. So again, go to hellovisionary.life or essentialwellness.life and you will get it all there. Okay, do I have a Tiffin? Where are you, Tiffin? So Tiffin Krager Bryant, she is one of our essential oil educators, a founder of the Visionary Leaders team, and she loves dogs, as you can see by her background. So she is going to come on and talk to us about our furry friends, how to keep them healthy, how to help their emotions, how to be safe with them, and using essential oils with dogs and pets. So take it away, Tiffin.
Okay, are you ready? Because I get monkey voice when I get super excited, and I've been sweating because I thought I was supposed to go before now. So like, I'm hyped. Be ready. Here it is. Okay, so my dog's sound asleep beside me. So I just want to say, first and foremost, write this down. Use common sense. Use common sense, use common sense, use common sense, okay? Anybody, anything that can't advocate for themselves, you need to dilute, or you need to start with less common sense. So if you live in a studio apartment and you're like, I want to diffuse On Guard, but I don't know. Okay, here's the deal, 1 drop. And just remember, almost all of our diffusers are water-based diffusers. So you're putting a drop in water, so you're already diluting it a lot, and then it's going through the air in little teeny tiny molecules, okay? So On Guard can be in any base of any blend right now that you want. Anything, okay? Done. So there was a big debate on, I don't know if I can use On Guard with my dogs. You can. Now, I'm gonna go all over the place because it's hard for me to stay focused, so just bear with me. Here we go. All right, I have I counted, and I think just under 20 dog rescues in my organization. So we have done transports, we've done rescues. I have a huge surprise for you in just a minute. That's why I'm trying to hurry. So just bear with me. So first and foremost, I have 2 references for you that if you want to get them, you want to look them up, whatever. These are like ride or die. If you have pets, you need them in your life, okay? The first one is this book right here because it's very simple and it talks about 17 essential oils and it tells you how to use them. And because Patty and Sadie Kelly wrote it. And they're on our team and they're here. Okay, that's why. Oils to the Rescue, you can get it on Amazon, okay? Super cute. And by the way, your kids can color the pictures and it has how to use it over and over and over again. Super simple, common sense. Let's do this for bedtime reading, okay? Just saying. All right, the next one, and this is really, really, really important because, you know, Heidi was talking about PubMed.gov. There is a book, it is expensive, and it is worth it. And we have done a lot of our research with this book. All right, here we go. This, I'm putting it up on the screen. So if you click the top speaker view, you can just see me and you'll see it. Good job, Sadie Kelly. If you have this book, hold it up. It is very important to have. Vivian, I see you writing this down. Good job, because this is an awesome one you should definitely have. Okay, so on here, it's got forms of dilution. Boom, a lot of stuff here. It's got anxiety, diarrhea. Trust me when I tell you, nothing will get you out of bed faster than a dog throwing up or doing something in your house. Just saying, while you're sleeping, nothing. So it tells you in here the forms of dilution, how to do it, what to do. So it also tells you what oils to use. Now, and it tells you how to use them. It's got ear infections, okay? It's got anxiety. Let me look at one. First of all, you know what? Let me tell you the oils that I have right in front of me that are my go-to. Now, in that book, there's 17, but one that's going to surprise you because I don't think you're aware of it because I wasn't really aware of it until a couple weeks ago. Okay, so here's some that we're going to use. Calmer. And you know why this is great? Because it's diluted. because you can just roll it on. Now it gets super furry. I'm just saying, it gets really furry. But these are great. Calmer. The other thing is you roll it on you and then you pet them. Neck to tail. Neck to tail. Super easy. Sadie, stop laughing at me. I can totally see you. All right, here's the other thing. Something, common sense tip. You know how we talk about diluting? Please don't dilute with olive oil. Olive oil will go down the hair shaft and it will cause your dog to break out, and it will have like a cyst or like a clogged follicle. So what you really want is fractionated coconut oil, always, for dogs. Always, always, always. And that's why when we use our touch, they're properly diluted, okay? Sadie, I'm watching you. I can totally see you. Okay, so here's some other ones that are fantastic. Okay, Whisper. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a super fast story about that. We had a little puppy, Sammy. This is Sammy. Sammy is actually taking a nap in the back until we get another delivery, and then she'll go crazy with her alarm system. So Sammy was being sold at a Safeway in California at 3 weeks old. So I don't know if you know this, but dogs are not supposed to be away from their mama before like 9 weeks minimum, okay? So we got her at 5 weeks and had to bottle feed her. And we took her to a, behavioral specialist because she's pit bull and she's amazing. And we didn't know how big she'd get. So we took her to a behavioral specialist. We did some training, and they were like, you're going to have behavioral problems because she's so little. She didn't get socialized with a pack, all these different things, blah, 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 blah. So when this dog would get zoomies and run through the house, from the day we got her, we used Whisper. I would put Whisper on my forearms, and it was a way that I bonded with her. So from 5 weeks old, I would put this on me, and then she would smell it. To this day, if my dog is super excited, Steve or I rubs Whisper on our forearms, and we pick her up, and immediately she's like, oh, literally just falls asleep and just completely feels safe. So you'll find with your dog, you'll find one oil or a couple oils that will bond you with them. And when you put it on you for your benefit, they will also feel that, and they will be calm because you're calm. Okay, so we have this thing, wait for it, leash up, leash down. We're gonna talk about that. What that is if I'm stressed to the gills, guess who else is gonna be stressed in my house? My dogs. So if they're acting up and you're like, why are you acting so crazy? It's because we're acting crazy, okay? So it's a leash up, leash down. And the other thing is, if they're really upset, we then get upset because we're worried about them. So you fix one, you fix the other. So if I work on me, it's the greatest gift that I can give my dog. Okay, please remember that. So diffuse in your house, some diffuser blends that are so good to have are, okay, wait, back to the oils. And then it goes in the diffuser. Just kidding. Here's the oils. Heidi, I see you making fun of me. Okay, so here's some oils. Vetiver. Vetiver is really, 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 really good in the diffuser because it's so deeply grounding. Vetiver's great. Helichrysum is great. This little trio thing that you can get, it's still available in the back office. It was a holiday special. If you love pets, this should be in your house. So easy. It's diluted. You rub it on your hands. I'm spilling all my oils. Holy crap. Here we go. All right. So Serenity, Balance, Helichrysum, Magnolia is incredible. Okay. Best one ever for dogs for me is Jasmine, but that's a whole nother story. Okay, On Guard is great. Lemongrass is amazing. And lemongrass is amazing because while you're all sheltering at home, your dogs are like, Karen, why are you still in my kennel? Seriously, like when am I gonna get a break? And so they're not used to being so active, so they might be sore, right? So if your dogs are sore, you can put, like my dog's older and has really sore and stiff hips, so a little bit of lemongrass and frankincense, I put it on my hands and I rub it on their hips and they're like, yes, thank you, Karen. We appreciate you. So anyway, lemongrass can be a little bit hot, right? But here's the deal. It's not really hot for dogs because they have fur. And let's just say so many people, I've heard question after question after question about, am I putting too much on my dogs? Am I putting too much? If I put 4 drops of frankincense on my hand and I put my hands together, by the time it gets to the dog, it's less than a drop. It's already flashed off a little bit. Plus, it's going to go in their hair follicle and down to their body. Okay? So everybody take a deep breath and know that you have the best quality oils. You're not going to do this wrong. It's going to be fine. Okay? It's going to be fine. The other thing is DigestZen. If you have a dog, you should have DigestZen. It is an absolute must. In fact, Gus will come up. He's 90 pounds. And he'll like kind of slam his bum into me and be like, here. Like he wants it on his underbelly right there. And then after I rub it on him, he will I take what's left in my hand and he will lick it off my hand. Okay, so we've got that. So we've got peace is really good. Peace, console, lavender, Roman chamomile is an absolute must. And here's a surprising one, black spruce. Black spruce was almost in every single recipe in the ADR book, okay? Anxiety, stress, pain, all the things, okay? So it's really, 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 really good. Now, here are some things that I love in a diffuser. If I want my dogs to just snooze in between the alarm system going off with the postal thing, I don't know if you have that, but if you have dogs, you'll get it. Like, no one knocks on a person that has dogs' door. That's just not acceptable. You don't knock. So anyway, when they do knock and the alarm system goes off and you need to calm them down, then you put on like Balance and Serenity and Whisper is the harmony blend. Those are my favorite three together. And now you just add a drop of On Guard. So for people that are nervous, that are just starting, one, I think that diffusing is the absolute best way to be the most effective right now. Because it's just easy. It's effortless. You put it in the, oh, here we go. Hold on. No, you're fine. We might have barking. Someone just delivered something. Dang it. All right, so anyway, it's the easiest and best way to get this delivery into your home. So add On Guard to everything, and then go ahead and add the blends that you love in there, especially if your dogs sleep in your room with you. Go ahead and put it in there too. So here's a great blend. Balance, Serenity, and Whisper. Whisper and Peace and Vetiver is another one. Super deep, okay? Frankincense. Oh, and by the way, Copaiba is a must-have for your dog. Okay, so frankincense, Copaiba, and Peace is really, really nice and deep for sleep. And don't forget, like, you can also put this in your hands when you put it on the diffuser and rub it down your dog. All right, now here's the other thing. For those of you who don't know, who have never been around it, or who haven't tried this, most people that have dogs like love their dogs, and they can tell if their ear goes back, they don't like something, or if they see the whites of their eyes, they're like, I don't like that. Or, you know, like how they walk, or just how their tail wags, or how excited they are, you can tell. But for those of you who are not super aware because you work a lot and you only spend like an hour with your dog, and now you're spending like 24 hours a day with them, you're going to see different things. There's going to be different anxiety. There's just, I want you to try this exercise, and then I'll stop stuttering over every single word. Okay, here we go. So here's lavender. My lavender is closed tight. I will present it like this to Gus. Okay, completely closed. And if he nudges it or comes close, he's into it. And then I cracked the lid just a little bit. He can really smell it now. And I opened it and he came back over. Here we go. Hey, buddy, you want to try that? Yeah. Okay, look, you can't really see it. He's right here. There we go. Came right back over. He was over barking. So here's the deal. He smelled this from across the room and came over to it. This is one that I know that my dog loves. And what I also love about this is the same thing. These labels right here, I don't know if you can see this. That's a grass label, generally regarded as safe. So my dog, when I put this on his body, he can lick this and then he gets the internal benefits. Okay? So for me personally, for Gus, hot spots, I put frankincense and lavender on him, and then if he licks it off, amazing. It's amazing. He gets the internal benefits, so it's safe for him, okay? Now, I will not talk about any other oils other than doTERRA for pets. I feel like it's just super irresponsible, and that's my personal opinion. This is one that I feel completely safe giving my dogs. All right, now I've left a lot of things out, but here's, oh, Heidi, do you remember all those beautiful things that you just gave us about hand sanitizer? Here's something super grave that's starting to happen. Store-bought hand sanitizers are poisoning our dogs because they have triclosan in them. So you put this all over your hands, you pet your dog, and your dog is licking that off your hands. It's like your dog licking antifreeze. So please, if you have pets, make your own hand sanitizer, buy an On Guard hand sanitizer, or wash your hands. Because your dog's licking this, it's not safe for them, okay? The things that are in some of the brands, I don't even know all the brands, but they have triclosan. That's what kills our wildlife. Okay, that's one of the reasons people pulled all that stuff off the market to begin with. So be safe. Use common sense. If you're going to pet your dogs all the time, like I kind of do, you make sure that you wash your hands and make sure that you get it really foamy and whatever. Okay, here's something else. When you get to the bottom of doTERRA shampoo, just a random tip, leave this much shampoo in there, fill it up with water, shake it up, and that is an excellent, excellent shampoo for your dog. Okay, you can add a drop in there. We have a thing that washes dogs' paws outside of our house, and my dogs walk through, they're really hilariously trained. They walk through this, wash their paws so they don't get dirt all over the carpet. So we have 5 drops of lavender, 2 drops of helichrysum, and lots of doTERRA soap in this bin, and they just walk through it, and we change it out twice a week, and they love it. And then if they lick their paws, they get rid of any of that yeast or anything, any of the infections, and it keeps their paws nice and happy. Okay, said a lot of things. I don't even remember. I'll have to rewatch it. But here's my surprise. Are you ready for my surprise? I need to see some hands. Is everybody ready for the surprise? It's a really big deal. Okay, all right. So I have a special guest on here today. She's a little bit of a superstar. You may not know her, but you will after today. Her name is Sadie Kelly, and she is a certified animal massage practitioner. She and her wife have worked with essential oils on animals, and I mean a lot in the past 5 years. A lot, okay? And she is the co-author of Oils to the Rescue. She's an animal energy worker. If you've ever seen her, it is incredible to watch as she pulls pain and inflammation down and out, and the dog's eyes clear, and I can't even. Okay, anyway, all right, so, and she has been a regular on the show Amanda to the Rescue. It is a pet rescue show that had 2 seasons that was on Animal Planet. So if you're looking for something to watch, there you go, and you will see Sadie Kelly. So Sadie, could you pretty please show us some techniques that you use when you're soothing your dog? She's going to show you some massage practices that you can do at home to calm and soothe your dogs. So if you haven't put it on, go ahead and put it on speaker view so you can just see Sadie instead of all the little bubbles, and that way you can see her close up. Take it away, Sadie.
Thanks for the great introduction. So my energy level is that of Tippins, and we're going a little crazy because we're extreme extroverts, and we even did a drive-by and was like screaming at each other at our house. But when it comes to animals, cats and dogs, you really need to calm yourself down, take some deep breaths, and get grounded. And with animals, it's the only thing that I am actually grounded with and centered. So first, my wife, Patty, she's going to hand me, this is Tickles, my cat. Not Tickles, this is OC. Sorry, OC. Tickles is over there. So cats have, with massage lasts about 10 seconds with them. So what Tiffin said was, if you have your touch oils, they're really good to use with your cats because they're already diluted. But all you need to do is you can wipe the side of the bottle, and that will get you enough oil to use on your cat, or you can just roll a little bit. And the best place to use it, so I have balance, is on the tips of his ears like this, or on the base of his skull right here. But don't go down his spine or their spine, because cats, it tends to get, they get very worked up once you go past their ribs here. So that's a great place to calm them. And a lot of times you'll notice that they just kind of sit still once you start rubbing their ears. Mm-hmm. See his little eyes, he kind of squinted. Very good sign with your cats. And the other thing is they have a lot of nerve endings in their ears. So this is, like Dana was saying, with acupuncture points, there's a lot of calming points in their ears. And the other thing is, OC was a feral kitten that we had rescued. My daughter found him in the abandoned house. So he has chronic respiratory issues. Thank you, Patty. So he gets a snotty nose and really stuffed up monthly. So we use Arbor Vitae on him, and we'll put Arbor Vitae right on the back of his skull. And we'll also use a little bit of Breathe right here on his chest to help open his airways. And once in a while, when he's really mucousy, I'll put it right here across his face, the Breathe Touch. I know people are scared to death to use oils with their cats, but a diffuser is a great way. It's the most diluted way to use them. We swear by the oils with our cats, and he's done. He wants to go away. So that's a great thing to do with cats. Now I'm going to show you, this is a little dog that we're fostering. She is 6 weeks old. Her name is Evie. If any of you guys watch Drag Race, she's named after the drag queen Evie Oddly. But she has little deformed front legs, so we're trying to splint them. And we're using Copaiba or Copaiba on her joints and frankincense. And I'll just wipe the side of the bottle and put it on there, but she's only 6 weeks and you can still use the oils with that young of a dog. She's she also is having some digestive issues, so, and she's having a little bit of a cough because she came from a kennel, a rescue. So last night I put some Breathe right here on her chest. All I did was open the bottle, wipe the side of it again, and put it right over her chest. And I want you guys to see what she does when we open the Breathe. And this is what Tiffin was saying. You can see if they like it. She will put her nose right up against it, and she'll take deep breaths of it. So they tell you what they need. And that's amazing. And if they don't like it, like we open lavender, and our little Yorkie, she will leave the room. She hates lavender. So they're very in tune with what they need. The next thing I want to show you is we're going to do a little massage technique, especially with all of you being at home. I feel like I'm rushing and I don't even know what I'm saying. But so every day we do some, yeah, Patty's going to go get my other little dog that is easier to show you because she's like, her spine's like this long. She's making little squeaky noises, but I'll tell you about a breathing technique first. So you know how we're all doing breathing techniques at the beginning of these videos, and Ariana did one the other day. Those are really good to also practice with your animals, especially dogs. So when you're all worked up and freaking out, as I have been crying every day over this epidemic, when you sit down to be with your dog, really try to forget all about all of that and just be with your animal. And instead of petting it like this, that's very stimulating. Just put your hand on their chest and start to take really deep breaths. Like Dana was saying at the beginning of this, just, you can have a little balance on your hand. Peace is my go-to, Magnolia. And you will notice that your animal starts to mimic your breathing. And this is just really important because, as Tiffin said, it was a leash up, leash down. They will feed off of us. And everyone is so stressed out right now and emotionally distraught that this is a really good breathing exercise for you. So, and then the next thing I want to show you, this is Rainbowy Delicious. He's about 7.5 pounds, and he's very high strung. He's a lot like me. So he's always like, what's going on? What's going on? But the one thing that he loves is something called a spinal flush that I want you guys to try and do this with your dogs at least once a day. So what you're going to do is figure out what their favorite oil is, whether, like we already mentioned, a bunch of them, and you're going to just put it on your fingertips and rub it in. And what I like to do is just start at the top, and you're going to use everybody put your finger on your eye and kind of push. That's an eyeball pressure. That's the pressure I want you to use. And you're just going to go down one side of his spine. And you're going to go, I know it's hard to see, huh? And then you go all the way down. And you go all the way down to the base of his tail, okay? And then you're going to do that down the other side. And you're going to do 3 sets on both sides. And you will find that within a few days, your dog will come to you for this routine. He comes to us every night. He actually comes to me, and then he comes to Patty. Do it for at least, what'd you say? Oh, he comes to Patty for it too. He likes both of us because we have 2 different energies. And the other thing that you can also do is how Dana was having us flick your energy off. That's a really great thing to do. So you can just go like this and just flick the energy off your animal. So that, because they think about all of the stress and anxiety and tension that we're holding on to, that's exactly what they're feeding off of. So it's really important that you help them flush their body of it. And then that spinal flush will help rid their body of toxins. It helps improve their blood flow. It's not only calming, but it helps release the endorphins and hormones that help like lower cortisol levels. So you're doing so much for their health in just a simple massage stroke. So that's my tips.
Thank you so much, Heidi. I know that we're totally over. I appreciate everybody staying on the call. Those tips were so great from Heidi. Could you from Sadie, could you quickly help everybody just feel a little safer using oils on their cats? We're getting a lot of stuff in the chat.
So
anything you can say to help with that.
yes, a lot of people say cats are missing the enzyme to Patty can get on here too, because if she wants. No, she said no. Okay. They're not missing an enzyme. They just metabolize the oils slower. So if you think of your children, your toddlers, you think of your elderly, like grandparents, that is your cat. You know, they just need it. Less is more. So diffusing it and letting them be able to leave the room. And also, you know, don't block them in the room with the diffuser. And also, if you think about it, if they were that toxic, you wear oils all the time, the cats in all of our homes they'd die, because we're all wearing oils. So it's very important you just use doTERRA. It's the purity that really is what is toxic to cats, and dilute as much as you can. You know, like I said, wipe the very edge of the bottle. And that book, the Animal Desk Reference book, the big green one that Tiffin showed us, this has a whole section of it shows all about cats, every oil. It'll talk about what it's good for the cats. And it's our book is mainly about dogs, because it is controversy about cats, but you know, the oils helped save. Two of our cats have passed since we started, but they're from old age, but it helped them get through. We have very compromised immune systems, and it helped keep them going for 5 years. I hope that helps.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest takeaways from this whole call, you know, we're talking about kids, we're talking about pets, we're talking about cats, and these are sensitive populations. And like Tiffin said, they often can't advocate for themselves. So we should be doing this anyways, but this is inspiration for you to do your research. This is a call to action for you to get the reference guides that you need, a Modern Essentials book. If you have animals, an Animal Desk Reference, get those books. Also, what Heidi is saying, you often ask, what oils do I use? If you get the book, you look up antiviral, you look up antibacterial, it'll tell you what oils. And this is also a time to look at the research. Go to pubmed.gov, go to Aromatic Science, do your own research. There's lots of controversy, there's lots of myths out there. And what we have found, I know Sadie and Tiffin and Patty and I have done the same thing with our animals, is we've dug into the research, and what we've discovered is doTERRA oils are safe. Yes, use common sense, but they're safe. You'll find the same thing when it comes to your kids. You'll find the same thing when it comes to ingesting, but don't take our word for it. That is the biggest call to action from this, is if you want to use essential oils on your family, go do the research yourself. And once you do, you'll be like us and you'll go, the oils are great. They're safe. We're going to use them. Of course, we're going to use common sense, and we will never use anything other than doTERRA.
And you can watch, if you watch feral cats outside, watch them rub in the lavender bushes. Watch them rub up against helichrysum plants or whatever it is. They're plant-based oils. That's what the animals did before we domesticated them. So it's just them getting back to their roots.
Yes. So if you are loving to hearing what Sadie is saying, her and her wife, Patty, have a webinar on our websites. You can go to hellovisionary.life, look under oil education, or you can go to essentialwellness.life and look under the webinars and get their webinar. Go watch that, get their book. You're going to learn so much more. On Friday, we hope you come back, 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. We have a special treat for you. Not only will we be hearing from Diane Del Reyes, who's a licensed acupuncturist, and she'll be teaching us some Chinese medicine techniques we can do on ourselves for respiratory health, but we are so grateful and blessed that there is an incredible woman in our community that is actually recovering from this really, really intense COVID-19 right now. And she's going to share her story with us. It's such a blessing. You got to get people on the call on Friday. It's going to be a really, really informative, excellent talk. If you've been listening to this call and you're like, I don't have doTERRA in my life, make sure you talk to the person who invited you, because friends do not let friends buy essential oils from the grocery store, and friends do not let friends buy essential oils at retail prices. You need a wholesale account. You got to get your doTERRA. Plus, if you are in a financial situation right now where it's a struggle for you to pay for things like your oils, doTERRA has a very generous rebate program where if you share with your friends and family, they're going to give you money that will help you pay for your oils. Plus, we have our monthly loyalty rewards program, which gives you lots of free points. And this month, you're getting free Clementine, and you have the opportunity to buy the rare and precious Blue Lotus. So many goodies. We love hanging out with you during this time. You are making my shelter at home so much more enjoyable. I hope that we're making yours more enjoyable. And last announcement, last but not least, is April 14th, Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. We are going to have an Intro to Essential Oils class online. So if you have a friend that you really want to introduce to doTERRA essential oils, bring them to this class. All the information is on hellovisionary.life. I think Aisha, is it going to be up on essentialwellness.life too? Yes. So introductory class online that you can bring people to that you want to introduce to oils and help them get started. We love you all. Stay healthy, stay safe, and we will see you on Friday. Bye, everybody.